Ugh. Alright, so not much info I can really say about with this event last week because we had no stream pretty much, but it's a battle between Ferrari and Mercedes, Ferrari and McLaren, and with one prominent driver out, pretty much done for the rest of the season for actions unbecoming. We have kicked off the second half of Season 20 here in Tier 2. This is RPL Formula 1 Tier 2, Season 20. We are in Round 6 here at Baku for short qualifying and with 14 participants taking part in tonight's festivities. Let's get this show going. Well, Ironwolf on hand for comms tonight. We'll be filling in commentary for Tier 2 for this week, next week, and the following week. So you'll be seeing me for a couple of weeks and all that fun stuff. And you'll also see me in for Tier 1 on Saturdays. But yeah, we got 14 in hand for tonight's festivities. So let's take a look at our 14 drivers that are in this event here. So here's what we got. So, we have Leon gracing our presence in the Mercedes. He will have Dylan, aka Get Wrecked, in alongside him. Jack and SV will be partnering in Mercedes. SV will actually be in the car for the rest of the season after JMS, who decided to swipe a driver on the straightaway last week in Monza, got a 20-second penalty and has been banned from Tier 2 for the remainder of the season. So in Red Bull, I'm just gonna dub these two, the Nyman brothers, Andreas and Lassie. Well, maybe I'll just say the Nyman duo, Lassie and Andreas. They are in the Red Bull. We have Devin and Morrell in the Haas. Tim Bed's by himself in Aston Martin. Alan J and Lennon are in the Ferrari. Fusion just recently moved down to Tier 2 about almost just under 2 hours ago. He is in V-Carb. And then we have Lucas and Dragon in the Sauber. So, missing competitors. So, we have no Williams, no Alpine, no second V-Carb, and no second Aston Martin. So last week for Tier 2, Lennon was the race winner with SV and Lassie. Now JMS was originally second place, but he got booted down all the way to 9th place for his penalty. Let's take a look at our Drivers' Championship. So we have Lennon ahead of Jack, 65 points to 48. Alan J just moved up in the 3rd place over JMS. He's sitting in the Alan J sitting in the 3rd place spot. In the Constructors, Ferrari has taken the Constructors' lead. They are 4 points ahead of McLaren. 127 to 123 is the gap. And Mercedes is sitting way back in 3rd place with only 38 points. And we have a tie for 4th between Aston Martin and Haas. They are tied for 4th at 30 apiece. So let's ride on with SV as he makes his way into turn number 1. Now, for the guys that are in Tier 2, a couple of these guys raced this track in Tier 1 a few weeks ago. So this is basically a bit of practice for these guys. So here we go. Down to turn 2 in the RSO number 1. Getting up into 8th gear. Getting up to close to 210 before the braking zone in turn 3. Heavy braking down to 3rd gear. Exiting out of turn 3. Now heading into turn number 4. Back down into 3rd gear. Coming out. Overtaking gauge just a little bit. Now into the first sector split, and now into turns 5 and 6. And easiness there, a little tap at the wall for SV there. And by the way, SV is practicing on the hard compound tires. Very interesting choice to go with here. But yeah, very interesting choice. Just to get things familiarized there. So, out of turn 10. Pretty much now into the mix of 11, 12, and into 13. And now heading up into 14. And now to the last couple kinks of 15, 16, 17, and 18 to wrap things up. Here at Baku, flying down the track we go. And let's see what we got for times. Fusion sets the benchmark 39.3. Timbed a full, almost a second and a half behind. But SV on the hards goes fastest with a 39.1. Lucas comes in with a 41. Lassie responds with a 38.2. Let's see what Devin's got. He's coming down the line and coming across. He will go for fastest with a 39.3. Let's go to Alan J now. Championship leader heading on in. Morel just went back into the pits. Jack just goes ahead of SV. About half a second behind Lassie at this moment. Dragon just a smidge behind a 42 flat. Timbed 40.6. Alan J with a 38.5. He's the third driver to get himself into the 38s. What about Lennon? Well, he joins up in that 38s. He's in the 38.3. Now, what about Dylan? Where will he slide himself in on this one? Andreas just came across. He's 8th fastest with a 40.3. So he's almost 2 seconds behind his duo buddy of Lassie. Just over 2 seconds behind. But here comes Dylan across the line, and he goes a 39.0 in the Mercedes. So 2 drivers, you have to get some laps in. Looks like Morel had to go back into the pits. He abandoned his lap. Leon is on the track currently. Let's take a look. Looks like nobody had a problem there. And yeah, we did see Merrill on the track, but I think he must have butchered his starting lap, so he is now back into it. Alright, hopefully maybe when the 26 cars get ported in, hopefully we'll have a better run, we'll have a better time on hand for, hopefully we'll get better attendance out of these guys, because I mean, literally the game has like been really piss poor, and from what I've been seeing from some of the people, some people complain that they hate this game. Some say they like it, others are saying they hate it. But to each their own, I guess. I mean, I'm probably in the crowd of not liking this game. I will say straight up. That's why I'm one of those people that are probably on the hate side of this game. So hopefully maybe when the 26 cars get ported in, maybe things will be better and we'll have some more great racing and some more action here. But Leon just coming out of turn 10, just getting a little slippery on his exit, but working on some magic here to get himself a great position here and go for what's essentially going to be a really fast lap, potentially a fast lap here, hopefully. But let's see what Leon's got in hand. Just came back in RPL racing a few weeks ago. I mean, let's just say this: even though he can cause mischief and some pain to some, but let's just be real, we miss this guy. But here he comes down to the line, used up all of his deployment. He's only 11th fastest with a 40.7. Hopefully he'll have a better run. He might get a better run on his next lap. But let's go on to Morel, the only driver yet to get a lap on his repertoire. Let's see what he's able to do here. Dragon did improve, but he's still dead last right now. He has a 41.5. That is pretty much the slowest of the group here. And let's see what Morel's got as he gets out of last section here. Now let's see what he has what he's got the capabilities of going down the straight here and into everything, and he's abandoned the lap again. Well, if he didn't abandon his lap, I think he would be right around with Lucas. Right around with Lucas, maybe just ahead of Lucas, in the low 41s, maybe the high 40s. I think that's where he would be if everything panned out correct. Let's go with SV as he's doing another lap here, getting into the first sector, and he's half a second up in that first sector. Because bear in mind that 39.1 was done on a hard compound tire, so he'll be significantly faster here. So just the first sector alone, he's already propelled into fourth. Holy crap! Keep yourselves off the wall, dude. That was just scary to watch. I thought he was just gonna Leclerc himself in the wall there, but how it's just amazing. And oof, smacks the wall again. And now into the second sector, he's 0.8 up, so he'll be going into the 38.3s here. So it looks like he could challenge right now for the fastest lap at this present time. Lucas just came across, improved his time. He's in 9th with a 39.9. And now here comes SV flying down the track, trying to get his best possible lap out. And it's a 38.3 dead. He's 12 thousandths behind Lassie at the moment, who is not improving. Well, was not improving in the second sector here. Well, looks like he must have butchered it somewhere, because yeah, he's way behind. So he's just restarting on another lap to get a better run in. Let's go to Allen right now. 2/10 up in that first sector, so he'll be still be right behind his teammate at this present time. But here we go. Jack now in the fastest time with a 38.2. That puts him 17 thousandths ahead of Lassie, who just went back into the pits. So we may see Lassie come back out a little later on towards the end of this event. Here we go. Allen into the sector 2 split. Let's see what he's got here. He's just a hair over a quarter of a second up. So he's looking at a 38.3 dead. So he'll be right there at the sector 2 split. He is going to be about 1,000th behind SV. But I think he could maybe challenge Jack here for the top honors as he comes roaring in. And he will be, yeah, 38.1. He is just almost a 10th ahead. Devin just moved himself into 7th with a 38.9 Okay, here comes Lennon. He comes across. He's ahead of his teammate, a 38.1. by 31 thousandths of a second is the gap between the two Ferraris. Alright, Fusion is returning back to the pits. Devin just got his lap in. Looks like I think Dylan, yep, Dylan just improved his time. He's sitting in 6th with a 38.7 at this present time. Lastly, Andreas just finished his time. It's a 39.7. He's sitting in the 9th place position. Clocks the wall. That had to hurt. Dragon is going to be restarting up. Well, what has recharged his battery. He's at a 41.5. He'll be going back into the pits and try again. Morel still has yet to get a lap completed. So, well, pretty much everybody that's on the track currently is basically recharging themselves and looking to try another lap later on, with the exception of Leon. He is on track and getting on hand for his lap. So here we go. Let's see what Leon's got. Out of 3, very nice exit at 3 and a 4. A little slippery on getting back onto the power. He's about 700ths up in the first sector. Almost got really squirrely on that spot. It got really screwy right there. So that curb probably messed up his time just a bit. Get some overtake in. Now into the sector 2 split. We'll see what happens. I think that little mishap there. No, he's actually improved. Well, I almost half a second. But it is only gonna drop. It's only gonna increase his position by just 1 spot at this present time, unless he really dumps something here on this last section. Gets a lot better this time on the deployment. A lot better. And it's still 11th, but he is ahead of Timbed. So Leon, been a long time since he's been in a top 4 car. But I mean, literally, there was nobody else available that could have done it. So everybody's out and about on their final laps here. Andreas is in the pits, so he is not going to be getting another lap in. So Andreas will be, for now, in the 9th place position. We got trouble in turn 3. That is Fusion in the wall with heavy damage to that wing. There was an ass in there of Timbed. Did he get damaged in that scuffle? I see no damage on that Aston, so he looks like he's okay. So Fusion is going to be out. For qualifying. Is going to be out here. Andreas did come back out onto the track, but he's got no time to get a lap on hand. So Andreas will be out here. Leon, by the way, who's in the 11th place position, that is where he will be for right now, unless any of them get better spots. And Dylan just got kicked out, so we'll have to get him back in. If I can find them. There you are. Game advice sent to him. And Merrill did finally get a time in. It's a 40.6. That's only 12th fastest. And qualifying is set, so Andreas, Dylan, and Leon cannot get another lap in. Dylan was on the track but got booted out, which really does suck. But let's go all eyes on our top three. Let's see how these guys are gonna go here. Morel is all set. Although he looks like he retired on the track, but there is a gap between there, so I think he might be okay. But Lassie goes faster than Lennon to 38.105. That's 400 faster. Let's see. Dragon just goes up into 11th, knocking Leon down. Let's see here now. Coming up, we have another car coming. SV 37.7. Nice stuff there. Allen 38.1. Here comes Devin. He goes to 6th, 38.6. Lennon, can he challenge? Answer is he's second, but behind. Jack comes in. He's 4th. So SV snags pole. So we're just missing one guy to finish, and that's going to be Tim Bed. Here he comes across the line. And I believe he was just got ahead of Leon, didn't he? Yes, he did. So Leon's got some work to do. He'll be starting in 13th. But SV tops the board with a 37.7, just over 0.3 faster than second. Alright, and now we wait on when we're going to be ready to get on over. Let's see, what's everybody gonna be using? Looks like we got a mixture of mediums and hards. So I cannot wait to get this train rolling. We go, the 5 lights come on to start the Baku Grand Prix in Tier 2, and off we go. Good reaction from SV as they head into Turn 1, and it looks like Lassie trying to fend off Jack here, and we have some incidents in the background. We have Andreas and Lucas going for a ride, in turn 1. We had some more scrambling around. Dylan losing a couple of spots. He's in the 8th place spot. Devin up in the 6th. Fusion down in the 7th. Heading down into turn 3. Any chaos up here? Nope. Everybody looks good. Everybody looks good and golden. And contact between Jack and Lassie. Jack trying to figure out where he needs to go in this scenario here. Looks like a potential 2-stop strategy here in regards to this track, but we'll have to see what happens on here. So let's take a look at our tire setup. So Morel, Andreas, and Lucas are starting on the hard compound tires. Everybody else is on the medium compound tires and heading off into the sunset. SV has a 9/10 of a second as well now, 8/10 of a second lead over Lennon right now. There he is in the background right there. So he heads into the start of sector 3. And now he's a second clear. Now Jack trying to chase down Lassie for the 3rd place spot. He would like some good points on this repertoire here. Here now for the back we got Fusion chasing Devin down. That's for the 6th place position. Background no. There's Dragon getting past Timbed for the 9th place position. Very solid stuff there, but here comes Timbed responding as they head into turn number 1. Side-by-side action between the two. And Dragon fends off Timbed for now. But Timbed will get DRS on this straight here. Heading down towards turn number 3. No action between the guys up ahead on if they're going to make any movements here. But here we go. Into turn 3. No movement out of anybody just yet. Well, DRS in that main straight is your most critical spot to get your best results out. Now, for somebody like SV, you would love to have Lennon be over a second behind, so Lennon will not get DRS. And that will help Lassie out, because Lassie will have a chance to attack. Maybe the roles might get switched here because Lassie's almost out of DRS range to Lennon. And Lennon's trying to reel in SV here. The detection point is at the final corner, that being turn 18. That's the detection point. But let's see what we got as they hit the detection point. And looks like everybody will get DRS here as... Here comes Lennon with that DRS, rocketing in, gets to about 218 down the inside, and way past clear. There's SV still trying to fight, and they're side by side out of 1, and Lennon gets ahead into turn 2, and we'll have the advantage. But SV, though, has the DRS now, so he could challenge right back if he wants. But that's Ferrari straight line speed plays into dividends, and Lennon, despite the DRS that SV had, and it looks like SV had a malfunction. Yeah, he's having problems. He has lost over almost half a second in one corner. But on the DRS straight, by the way, SV was just over 3/10 behind, Lennon. But before the braking zone, SV lost nearly 2/10 of a second to Lennon, despite the DRS. Some ghosting in play between SV and Lassie. Looks like the young ghosting is all good now, but Lennon is now long gone. Now over 2 seconds clear of SV. Oof, SV's having some major problems in some of the braking zones. You saw he almost went really wide and loose out of the first corner of the sector 3, and Lassie's going to take full advantage, go into second place. But I believe that's going to give SV the DRS anyways. Same with Jack, And both McLarens will get past. Here comes Allen in tow. And Allen now battling with Lassie. This is for the 4th place position. But Allen decides to back off. So both McLarens get ahead of Lassie. Allen tried to follow suit, but just couldn't get the momentum he needed. Let's see if SV can has gotten his malfunctions figured out. As Leon and Andreas switch positions. They are in there, and we have battle between Morel and Timbed for the 10th place position. Here they go into there. Contact and a slide by Morel. He's okay. Keeps going. I hate when the camera angle cuts off. I would love to see what really happened there between the two. But it looks like the McLarens have switched up, so Jack thinking, hey, SV, I know you got some gremlins in your car. Let me take over and I'll chase them down. So now Jack is now turned loose to chase Lennon down for the lead. SV sitting in 3rd. Lassie now can have another opportunity to chase him down, and we have a crash. Andreas has crashed, and he is missing a chunk of the wing. He's okay, but Dylan, by the way, gets past Fusion and gets himself in the 7th now. Well, let's go to Lassie now, who's all over the back end of SV. SV's still struggling in that braking zone here. But SV really needs to get some momentum here if he wants to keep him behind. And we got trouble again. We have a big mess. Fusion has gone off. And it looked like Dragon might have been involved too. But Allen, by the way, just got past Lassie in turn 3. Little slide drift action by Dylan getting out of turn 4. And look who's in the middle of this fight. Devin. Devin sitting in the 6th position. Down the inside against Lassie. That is very brave. That is very brave of Devin to do. And he is up in the 5th. That is a great move by Devin. Yeah, that was just a gorgeous move by Devin to get by Lassie and up in the 5th. That was a very, very great move. Now Dragon leading this mini train here. He's got Timbed, Fusion, and Morel behind. Leon trying to close in. And looks like Allen has just lost DRS to the McLarens. And it looks like SV gets past Jack and will be into 2nd. Hopefully SV's issues have gotten figured out here, as Lassie is into the pits, by the way, to get off of the medium compound tires, and we'll be going to the first set of hards as Jack retakes 2nd from SV here. Don't fight around too much, boys, or you're gonna lose tabs to your or you're gonna lose tabs there. So in regards to the biggest gainers and losers at the moment, currently as it sits, and I'm not including Lassie here because Lassie just pitted, but currently our biggest gainer right now is a tie between Timbed and Morel. They have 4 positions gained, but before Lassie came in it was 3 positions gained. And the biggest loser right now is Andreas, losing 5 spots since the start. And it looks like Allen just regained into there. Whoa! Evil and a half goes that car. But still keeps it together. And Lassie just passed Lucas to get back into 12th. But by the way, look at this. Allen has no ERS available and has to resort to recharging the battery. So he won't be challenging at this moment. But I think we may have a challenge here as we got some movement here. Nope, Fusion is going into the pits, and same with Dragon. So Fusion and Dragon go into the pits to get off of the medium tires, and we'll be going on to the hard tires. So the highest person on the hard tires right now is Morel. Morel is the highest hard tire runner in 8th place at this moment, so he'll be pitting later on. Andreas, by the way, he started on the hards and then pitted early because of the accident he was in. Now he's on his second set of hards. Let's go back towards the front here, as Allen is chasing SV down for 3rd right now. Now McLaren is 4 points behind Ferrari at this present time in the constructor standings. In the live championship as it is, Ferrari is going to be gaining an additional 4 points on them, as the score is currently 37-33. As Allen following SV, Devin, and Dylan are all in the pits for their first stop. So, with SV in, that could mean, well, we know next lap that will mean Jack will be going in, but I think this is going to prompt a response from Ferrari on this lap, basically to respond to SV pitting. So SV has came out in the 8th place position. He's behind Leon, but will have the DRS help thanks to that Mercedes. So Leon lets him go, and now Devin stuck behind Leon in 9th. And Dylan right there is in 11th as well. We did see also SV did clock the wall earlier, and Devin gets past Leon. So Devin moves up in the 8th. Now let's see what we got with Lucas. Lucas is right behind. So let's find out. Let's find out how the Ferraris will respond, as SV is just hounding the back of Timbed. And here we go, trying to battle it out. They're side by side in there. And Timbed still keeps him back, but SV putting insane pressure. And now on the inside at the start of Sector 3, and SV moves up and ahead. Dylan passes there. Ooh, sandwich motion between Timbed and Devin. And yep, as predicted, Jack is in, and Allen responds to SV. So let's see here, as there's Jack. He's just coming out now, and he will be behind his teammate, but will be right alongside with Morel, and Allen is behind Devin. So Devin jumps Allen. And speaking of jumping, Devin up in the 5th, passes Morel. So the undercut really plays a part here at this track. So Lennon is in the lead about 21.5 seconds ahead of Lassie. I believe the pit stop loss here is at least 21 seconds. So I think Lennon might be able to get ahead. Well, maybe not. Might still be ahead of SV once they go in. But we'll find out as Alan is with Morel here. And these two are side by side into there. Whoa! Oh, and Dylan hits the wall. Dylan hit the wall there and lost, and no damage. Holy crap! How did he? Wow, that was. I really thought he was gonna lose part of that wing there, but he did not. Good stuff. McLaren switch up as Jack goes into third. And there is Lennon there. So Lennon will remain ahead at this moment. 2 seconds ahead of Jack. But Lassie has the lead right now. And Morel just went off. And he's reversed and back onto the track. Leon has made his stop. Onto the hard tires he goes, and I believe he was on the mediums. Okay, so the last of the mediums are in. So that means we have 2 drivers on the hards yet to come in. That being Lucas and Morel. So Lucas and Morel will be stopping in a little bit. They are on the hard compound tires. Here we go. So Lennon on the back end of Lassie here. Now Lassie is on 4-lap old hards, while Lennon has extremely fresh hards. But because of Lassie being ahead of Lennon, that allowed Jack to get inbound, and he on the back end. Here we go. DRS zone inbound. We have Lennon and Lassie in hand, and there goes one. Jack sets the fastest lap for right now. Lennon takes the lead back. Fusion getting past Lucas for the 8th place position. Now Jack has to get past Lassie in order to get himself in the second and try to hunt down Lennon for the lead here. Let's see what we got here as whoa. Ooh, tight. Still tight, but Jack gets past. So Jack into second, but lost some time to Lennon here, and he's out of DRS range to him. Meanwhile, I think Timbed is trying to eyeball Andreas for the 10th place position. Morel, by the way, just came into the pits to get off of the hard tires. He's got Leon for company. Andreas, by the way, went onto the hards after getting involved in an accident at the end of lap 4. So he has done 4 laps on his first set of hard tires. He's on 6 laps for his new hards. And now, by the way, SV is now chasing Lassie for 3rd place. Devin still ahead of Alan J in 5th. Well, I think Alan might get past him here. Whoa, SV! Side banging, wheel banging. And SV up in the 3rd. Now Devin with Alan right now. Devin turning the jets. Lassie just reclaims up here. Side by side, but SV gets it back. SV not giving an inch. And Devin still ahead of Alan right now. And Lucas has just made his first stop. off of the hards he went. So Lucas is on to mediums. Same with Morel. So we'll see. So I think if they all went with the harder tire compound, I'm thinking Morel and Lucas are doing hard, medium, hard. We'll see with the other guys when they make their second stop on if they're using 2 sets of hards or they're using the medium, hard, medium. But we know Andreas is definitely doing hard, hard, medium because he just used a second set of hards. Lassie trying again to try to go by. There's Alan in the background getting past Devin. Into 5th place he goes. And Lassie still stuck behind SV for 3rd. So SV still hanging on for that 3rd place spot. Meanwhile, Andreas under pressure from Timbed. See if Timbed can get past him here. DRS applied. But not using any overtake at all. He's not willing to go for a move here. So Timbed's still staying behind at this present time. Now, meanwhile, by the way, with Alan with SV and Lassie trying to battle with SV here, that brings Alan in line and also brings Devin with him too. You can see on the rear camera. But now Lassie out of DRS range against SV. So now Lassie is going to be vulnerable to 2 cars. Right on board with Alan. So here we go. So let's see. So they both have almost equal ERS availability. Lassie has the advantage by only 5%. Now just about 10% as they get to the DRS zone. But now the overtake dumped by Lassie. And look at that 10-mile-an-hour gap as Alan gets into the 4th place spot. I mean, heck, before the DRS even came into play, Alan had a 7-mile-an-hour advantage over Lassie. That's that Ferrari straight line tax. And Devin currently not close enough to warrant the attack on Lassie, but we'll probably wait until the main straight to make a move. And still no movement from Timbed on Andreas. Go for any movement here, but Andreas, I think, is probably just nursing the tires around because he is coming close on 10 laps on that first set of hards. I'll get a load of this with the leader gaps. As there goes Timbed down the inside and up and ahead in the 9th. But I think Andreas is trying to fight back, but Timbed's like, nah, you stay here. But looking at via the leader here, so from first to last, the gap is almost 50 seconds between Lennon and Lucas. And currently the fastest lap right now is still held by Jack. It's a 41.267. And the second fastest is Alan with a 41.627. Let's switch back to Alan here on the attack against SV. No ERS, but has a 14-mile-an-hour advantage anyway, and gets himself into 3rd place. Let's see if SV can respond in any way. And looks like SV, compared to the exit to the braking zone, SV lost 0.08 of a second to Allen. Dragon is in for his second stop. So Dragon is the first person in response. He's done 8 laps on those first set of hards. And he's going in to a new set of hards. And we'll be going back out. So that's interesting. Dragon did 7 laps. He did 6 laps on the mediums. And did 8 on the hards. But he's got to do about 12 laps on his second set of hards in order to make it work. We'll have to wait and see on that regard. But SV is still in DRS range of Allen right now. Let's see what we got as they head to the detection point. And SV has about a 5-mile-an-hour advantage over Allen, but no movements out of there. Lassie, by the way, is in the pits for his second stop. So Lassie getting off of the first set of hards, and also wing change too. He's got a damaged left end plate, so that's going to hurt Lassie on the second stint here. So Lassie will be coming out in the 7th place position. And he's going to have a lot of work to do, especially with losing that wing. And Fusion is going to come out behind Timbed. So the first of the big three, the first of the big four have made their stop. So how will the others respond? When will Jack make a move? When will Lennon go in? Allen or SV? Anything is possible here. But just bear in mind, the undercut is quite advantageous here. Because when Lennon made his stop, despite Jack being slightly hindered, he came out 2 seconds behind Lennon. When Jack made his stop, and he was behind, and he was in second, he was just over 4 seconds behind Lennon. So that undercut is a bit of a dividend here. Looks like Dylan has just made his second stop. Alright, we do apologize, because our game just crashed.
Great job, guys.
So we do apologize.
So much fun today. Thank you so much for your time.
Games are just garbage.
Get in there, Lewis. That's it, mate. That's the 100.
Watch, I'll probably come back and there's like a crash and we're on the safety car. This will take like 10 years to load. Okay. Well, I cannot get into the session for some reason, so I'm gonna have to restart the game and hopefully maybe it'll fix things, but or maybe restart the console. So we'll be right back. Give us a few